Peace. What's up, everybody? This is Naz with Naz's Woodstock Yoga House here in Oklahoma City. So, since it is the new year, and I know that people are making their resolutions and their sankalpas and just overall, reevaluating things and trying to make some positive improvements and changes in your lifestyle, and especially when it comes to diet. When it comes to resolutions, usually the number one thing that most people make them about are diet and weight loss and exercising and eating and things of that nature. So I've had some people ask me about wanting to incorporate a more plant-based diet in 2018. So first of all, kudos to you. Congratulations for making that decision, making that choice for yourself and for your families. And so, Naz, how do we go to a more plant-based diet? What are some recipes that, we should try or, whatever. So rather than give specific recipes, and I will do that as well. I post things a lot, different recipes that are some of my favorites. But I want to empower you all to actually start to create your own recipes. And so rather than thinking of switching and transitioning to a more plant-based diet in terms of like, oh, where are all the recipes? What are all these things I need to make? Just make it simple for yourself. It starts more with the state of mind. First, ask yourself, why do I want to make this change? Why am I switching to a plant-based diet? Is it for weight loss? Is it for health reasons? Do I want more freedom, more mobility in my body? What is the reason that I want to make this change? And that's an important question to ask, because oftentimes when we make a goal or we set a resolution for ourselves, there's something that's a little bit deeper on the other side of that goal. So we may say, hey, I want a new car. Why is it that you want a new car? Maybe there are places that you want to get to that you can't get to now that will allow you to achieve an even bigger goal. There's something on the other side of that you want to accomplish, a sense of independence or more freedom or whatever the case may be. So first of all, sit and ask yourself and really answer that. And that may seem simple. Oh, well, why would I want to go to a plant-based diet? It's obviously healthier, right? Cool, yeah. But like I said, there's always something deeper on the other side of any resolution or goal or anything that it is that we want to accomplish. So that's step number one. Ask yourself that question, answer that for yourself, and then step away. And instead of looking at it as this complete, huge change in your life, if you're someone who generally eats, meat, potatoes, bread, kind of at a meal, you have a meat and you have, a couple of sides and maybe a piece of bread or a roll or whatever on the side. If you tend to eat pretty what they would call a well-balanced meal, then it's a lot simpler than you think to have a plant-based diet. You would do well to just start by simply just removing the meat out of your diet. So keep the plate. So if you had a plate, for example, that normally would have a pork chop or a piece of chicken or a piece of steak on it, and then a side of, maybe potatoes and a salad and green beans. Well, you're already more than halfway there. Just simply take the meat off the plate. You can still eat the salad, still eat the mashed potatoes, still eat the green beans. You have a meal. And then what you start to do when you start to take the meat out of the meal more and more, and your diet is more and more plant-based, maybe you're 80-20 plant-based. So you are still consuming some meat, but not as much as you normally would. So the more vegetables that you consume, you just naturally will become more creative about what you make. It's not so much you have to look up all these different recipes, and that's cool to look at a recipe and say, oh, that's a cool thing to make. That looks good. I'd like to try that. But you want it to more so come from inside of you, something that you think about, that things that you already like to taste, things, flavors, seasonings that you like. And then that way it's something that you can stay with because you're already transitioning and doing something that feels different for you and maybe a little bit outside of your norm. So you don't want to add an extra duty to that. Now instead of just making dinner every night, now I have to come up with all these new recipes and all these new things to cook every night, because then you won't likely stay with it, because now it's starting to feel like a chore rather than the new journey that it is. So start simple and think simple. Hey, do you like baked potatoes? Most people do. Start there. That's a great meal. Baked potato, you can stuff it with, you can get the veggie beef crumbles. You can, put some vegan cheese on there. Or if you're still, eating regular cheese, you can put regular cheese on there. You can put spinach in there. You can put kale in there. You can chop up a lot of vegetables really, small, and your broccoli and onions and whatever, and stuff it like you normally would, but without the real meat or without any meat altogether if you want. And you have a meal, maybe a salad on the side or whatever, and a piece of bread, and you have a meal right there. So, start simple. Another great simple meal that you can do that's more plant-based, pasta. Pasta is super easy. Spaghetti, sauce, same way you would normally make your spaghetti, except for you're just taking the meat out. And then so maybe you add some more things. If mostly you just make meat and sauce, then hey, add some fresh onions, add some fresh mushrooms, add some, carrots, add some broccoli, just whatever vegetables you think taste good, bell peppers, whatever comes to mind for you. So just start with, hey, what are the things that I already like to taste? What are some meals that my family already really enjoys? Now in those meals, okay, let me remove the meat. What do we have left? Now, is there something else that I would like to add to replace the meat? Or just taking the meat out and with what's left? Is that something that would be satisfying to us? Would that, fulfill us? Would we feel full? Would we feel like our taste buds were satisfied? And if so, then you can stop there. If you feel like you'd want a little more, then hey, what other vegetable could I add to that? Or could I add a pasta to that instead of the meat? Or whatever the case may be. So those are your first, two things that we're at. Ask yourself, why is it that you want to switch to a plant-based diet? 2, start with where you're at. Start with meals that you already like, meals that you already enjoy. Simply just take the meat out of the meal and see if you can still have a meal that you enjoy after the meat is removed from it. Then the other thing that you want to do is, once you have gotten to the place where you're regularly taking the meat out of meals that you already enjoy, then that's when you start getting creative. And the way that you become a creative, healthy cook is by going fresh. Go really, really fresh, you guys. Canned green beans and canned everything, it's not going to inspire. If that's all that you have available to you, hey, do what you can do with it. But if this is something that you're wanting to be a long-term thing for yourself and for your family, then you're going to have to get really fresh, and you're going to have to go fresh. So go to your farmers markets, go to your Trader Joe's and all these kind of places, anywhere that has really nice, healthy, fresh produce, and go there and be inspired. Go there with an open mind. Go there and feel a sense of, hey, this is a new journey. This is going to be fun. Enjoy the colors of the produce. Look at all the different colors of the vegetation, the yellows and the reds and the oranges and the greens. And you may say, oh, Naz, that's crazy. I'm not going to go in the grocery store and get all excited like that. But if this is something that you want to be a long-term thing, then you have to think of it that way. If you come from it with a mindset of, well, I'm going to try to do this plant-based thing, and guess I'm gonna be going without meat for a while. And so if you look at it like it's a restriction or something that, that you're holding back from yourself, it won't be a fun journey, and you won't stay with it very long. Instead, look at it like a new journey that it is, and think about, wow, this is an opportunity to really become creative. This is a time for your kids to, really see some fresh vegetation. Hey, what would you guys like in your pasta? Mommy's not gonna put any meat in it tonight. What are some things you think you would like in it instead? Pick out a couple of veggies that you think you would like in there. We're going to put your veggie in there. We're going to put your veggie in there. And then mom's going to pick a veggie, and we're going to put my veggie in there. And we're going to see what kind of pasta we come up with tonight. You have to make it fun for yourself. You have to make it fun for your family. And you have to stay inspired. And the only way you can stay inspired is by really going very, very fresh, and really appreciating the vegetation. And then even take it further than that, really appreciating that this seed was planted and this food was grown, and there's farmers who had to, cultivate these plants, and truck drivers who had to drive for hours and hours to get it to that market or to wherever it is that it got to get to you, or farmers who pulled it up out of their yard and brought it to, a local farmer's market in order to sell it to you. So also, be in a sense of appreciation for your food, for all of the steps that it has to go through just to get to you. And then you also will start eating and appreciating your food in a different way and see it for what it is. See it for energy. See it as, something that is feeding your cells so that you can go out into the world and be a better version of whatever it is that you are. Be a better mom, be a better librarian, to be a better chef, to be a better office worker, whatever it is that you are doing, feeding yourself those things that are going to allow you to have a higher productivity level. So those are my 3 things. That's my advice for anybody in 2018 who wants to go towards a more plant-based diet. Ask yourself why it is that you want to do this and get to that bottom line. What is that bottom line for you? Because then you'll always come back to that. If you're in bottom line is, hey, I want to do this to do everything that I can to put as many things in my favor, to live as a long, healthy, prosperous life as I can, to be here for my children or for my family or for my community, whatever it is, know what your bottom line is. And then allow that to be what you keep going back to help recommit to your plant-based lifestyle. So know your why for your plant-based diet. Start with where you're at. Look at the meals that you already make and see what you can still eat and what your family would still enjoy, just simply taking the meat out of the diet, okay? And then number 3, keep it fresh so that you can be creative, okay? And like I said, I will put recipes up, at different times throughout the year. And sometime eventually, if there's anybody out there who wants to help me do it, I will probably put out a recipe book because it's something that has been on the list for a long time. And so it probably should just happen. But in the meantime, in between time, I really want to empower you to create some things for yourself. So remember those 3 things: your why, start with where you're at, and keep it fresh so that you can keep it creative. Because when you keep it creative, then you'll stay inspired to stay on a path that's, that's of more wellness and more wholeness and more goodness for your body, your mind, and your spirit. As well as also connect something to your plant-based diet. Start a yoga class, maybe. That was like a really shameless plug, right? But no, seriously, even if you don't live in Oklahoma City and you can't come to our yoga studio, seriously, incorporate something with your plant-based switch over that'll make it fun for you, that will make it feel like you're going on this new journey and discovering something new. So maybe, like I said, start a yoga class or start a meditation practice or start making a habit of, writing down things that you're thankful for every day at the beginning of your day or at the end of your day. But start something and partner that plant-based transition with that positive thing. And then instead of it being connected with a restriction or with denying yourself of something, that plant-based switchover will be connected to something that's positive and fun, that's discovering something new and a new journey and an adventure for yourself and for your family if you have a family. So this is Naz with Naz's Woodstock Yoga House. I really hope this helps out those who have been asking about switching over to a more plant-based diet this year. And hey, feel free to always post any pictures, any recipes, any questions that you have about switching over to a plant-based lifestyle. I'm always willing to try to answer questions if I can. If I don't answer you individually right then, that's just because there are some other people who have also asked that question. And so I'll generally just give it a little bit of time and then I'll do a video blog about it, or, I'll write about it and try to answer everyone's question at the same time. So, but hey, feel free to please tag me in your post. Show me all your amazing recipes that you're making. Take pictures when you're at the market, getting your fresh produce, and tag me in them, please. I want to see your journey. I love to see people making the decision to eat more plant-based foods. It's a fun journey. It's an exciting journey, and I would love to be a part of it. So tag me and let me know where you're at and what you're doing. In the meantime, you can always come see us if you're here in the Oklahoma City area. Naz's Woodstock Yoga House here in Oklahoma City. We're 3515 North Classen. You can also give us a call, 405-531-6505, and always visit the website nazswoodstockyogahouse.com. Have a great 2018, you guys. One love, peace.